Good morning and welcome to today's seniors mobility session. This workout is designed for seniors but open to anyone who wants to gently move their body, warm up for the day or for a workout, or just improve your mobility in general. We're going to start with a circuit of 3 exercises, and all you need is your body weight, somewhere to stand, and maybe a comfortable place later to lay on the floor. But for starters, we're going to do a hip circle for our hip mobility. It's best to hold on to something, either the back of a chair or a wall, and stand nice up tall. With your outside leg, start by bringing the knee up and then out, back, and move so that your knees are together. And then reverse by lifting up to the side and back to that starting position. Trying to make sure that torso stays tall. We'll repeat this movement. Going nice and slow, that's what makes mobility challenging. We're controlling that range of motion. Moving slowly, trying to get that joint to work through the range of motion as much as it can, while being comfortably uncomfortable. It shouldn't be painful. If your knee needs to be a little bit lower than mine, if you're not able to lift it as high, that's totally okay. Just meet your body where it's at. To the side, back, down. This is our last one after we finish. Moving back to that starting position. Very good. Now we'll switch and see how it feels on the other side. Again, nice up tall, knee lifts forward, and then moves to the side, behind you, and down, and then reverses back to the start. Try to think about a string pulling your head up to the ceiling so that you stay nice and tall. Knee goes back to the side and around to the front. Taking your time, make sure to breathe. Might feel a little bit like work in that glute, quad, and outer hip since we're controlling this movement. This is our last one on this side. Back to the side, and then rest. Very good. Our second one is going to be for shoulder and upper back mobility. So start with your elbows, even with your shoulders, and hands at a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to pull our elbows back as far as we comfortably can, and then bring them forwards. Pull the elbows back. Notice I'm not arching my back. I'm keeping it really nice and straight. All that movement is in my shoulder blades. Keeping my elbows as even with my shoulders as I can, unless that's uncomfortable, and then you can lower your elbows towards your sides. We get a little bit more rear delt activation and a little more open shoulder position if those elbows stay in line with your shoulders. And so we're just going through a nice smooth range of motion, squeezing the spine or the shoulder blades towards the spine as you pull the elbows back. And we'll do one more. And rest. Very good. And then our third one is going to be for the neck, looking over each shoulder. So just stand with your feet an inch or two apart, nice tall posture. And then look over your shoulder as far as you can, but without rotating the shoulders or the hips. Often our mobility is about really trying to isolate a movement to a particular area, a particular joint. So making sure that your whole body isn't rotating with you is really important. Taking your time with your eyes. Look as far behind you as you can. Often our body follows our eye movement. So it helps to really try to look almost all the way behind you or as far as you can. And we'll do one more for each side, looking over the right shoulder and then looking over the left shoulder. And rest. Very good. Okay, as always, we'll go through each circuit 2 times. So we'll go back to those hip circles. Choose whatever leg you want to start with. Use that balance support. And then with your outside leg, lift the knee up. Bring it out to the side slowly. And then lower so that knees are together, leg is bent. And reverse it back to the top. Nice and smooth. You'll notice mobility is different than stretching. We're often engaging a muscle to help us work that joint through its range of motion. So it's okay if it feels a little bit like work, especially on some exercises more than others. Taking your time, we'll do one more for this side. Knee goes out, back, little moment of rest, and reverse to the side and back to the start. Very good. Now we'll try that on the other side. Nice tall posture. Outside knee lifts, moves to the side, back and down, lifts up, back to that start. You might even feel like the core is working a tiny bit to keep the body upright. It's a nice little bonus. Maybe seeing if that knee is able to lift up a tiny bit more for our last ones here. Really lifting back to the top, and one more. Side, back, and down. Reversing it to the side. And rest. Very good. All right, then back to that shoulder and upper back mobility. Starting with the elbows, even with the shoulders, thinking field goal posts. My feet are just hip distance apart. And then make sure that we're not arching that back. We're keeping everything stacked from the shoulders down to the heels. And then we're going to pull the elbows back, squeezing the middle back, and then bring the arms forward. If you happen to have a mirror or something around to check out that elbow angle, that can be helpful, or just look at them and try to make sure that those elbows are mostly in line with your shoulders. Really smooth, slow movement, almost imagining that you're moving your hands through water. It's a nice way to help you slow down the movement versus moving too quickly. We want to really squeeze and then stretch. One more time, pulling the elbows back and arms come forward. Very nice. All right, and then our last one is going to be that looking over the shoulder for our neck mobility. Nice relaxed position, and when you're ready, look over one shoulder as far as you comfortably can, and then other side. Very common, especially for the neck, for one side to feel a little bit stiffer than the other. That's why it's good to work each side independently. But just listen on each side, not pushing too far past that comfortably uncomfortable range of motion. Nice controlled speed, not too fast. Make sure those shoulders and hips are staying facing forward. And last one for each side. Looking as far behind you as you can. And rest. Very good. Okay, for our second circuit, we're going down to the floor. So find a nice comfortable spot, maybe a yoga mat or just a nice cushiony place to lie down on. And we're going to start with some ankle mobility, laying on your back. This is just a nice way to not have to lift your leg. We can do it laying down, letting gravity do some of the work for us. So just lie here and then lift one leg up towards the ceiling. It doesn't have to be very high, and you can keep a bend in this knee. If it's more comfortable to be down here, that's okay too. And then look at your big toe, and you're just going to start drawing a really big circle choose clockwise or counterclockwise and just start moving a big ankle circle around. Just like with the hip circles, we want to go slow and deliberate with this one. You might notice some sticking points that are a little bit harder to get through. Just try to move through those with as much control as you can. Do one more. And now go the opposite direction. Often whatever direction you went in first might be what feels a little bit more natural. So just do the best you can. It's also a nice little bit of coordination work. Really slow control. And last one. And rest. Very good. Then other leg. A little bit of a bonus hamstring stretch here. And circle that ankle. Nice and slow. Might even feel like a little bit of work holding this leg up. That's totally okay. You could even support it a little bit with your hands if you wanted to. Our main focus is the ankle, so no need to work anything else. And now reverse, go the other direction. And as big of circles as you can. Might start to feel that shin muscle working a little bit. That's totally okay. We're using muscles to move that joint through its range of motion. And rest. Very good. Alrighty, for our second one, we're going to do a shoulder mobility move. And so flip over onto a hands and knees position. If you need to double up your mat for extra cushion or grab a pillow for your knees, that's always a good option. And so start with your hands right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. And then you're going to take one arm, reach straight out in front of you, as even with your ear as you can. And then you're going to sweep this arm back even with the side of your body, and then sweep it forward again. I'm trying to keep my torso facing the floor. And when I come back here, this arm isn't too low or too high. It's right even with my body the whole time. Nice, slow control movement. You can even spread your fingers if you want. Back to the top. Might feel that whole shoulder joint working a little bit. Hand sweeps back. Moving through water, nice and slow. We've got one more for this side. Make sure to breathe and bring it slowly back to the top. And then rest. Very good. All right, if you have enough room, you can just stay where you are. I'm gonna flip over and we'll get that other side. So when you're ready, lift one arm straight up, looking down at your mat. Once you figure out what you're doing so that we keep a neutral neck, sweep that arm and bring it back to the top. Doing a whole nice big half circle. Make sure with your hand that's on the floor that you're not collapsing into that shoulder. Try to push away from the ground a little bit. This is a very active one. Take your time, breathe through it. We've got one more. Controlling that sweepy movement. All the way back to the top and rest. Very good. All right, after that you get to come back to laying on your back, and we're gonna do some bent leg knee drops. So for these, we're gonna have our feet just a little bit away from our hips, and then just move them 1 inch further. So we've got some space between our heel and our butt. And then move your feet a little wider, about shoulder width apart. Then you're just gonna drop your knees as far as is comfortable. You can let your other hip come off the mat. And then slowly raise them back up and through to the other side. Maybe about halfway to the ground is as far as your body tells you it can go. Totally okay, meet it there. Don't force extra range of motion. Let the body get there naturally over time. Going through the center position over to the other side. Letting that other hip lift off the ground. We'll do one more for each side, letting the knees drop over. And come back up. Last one, other side. Knees drop down. And back to the top. Very good. Alrighty. Now we'll run through this circuit one more time, starting with those ankle circles. So again, leg is up. You can hold on to that leg if you want to. And when you're ready, start drawing those circles with your big toe. You might even get some snap, crackle, or pops in your joint. As long as there's no pain associated with that, that's totally fine. We're doing about 5 or 6 circles each way. So now let's switch and go the other direction. Really taking your time, especially with ankles and wrists. It can be tempting to go really quickly because it's not a huge range of motion, but make sure to slow yourself down. And rest, very good. And then lift your other leg up. And when you're ready, start making that big circle with your toe. And still making sure to breathe. When we're focusing, sometimes that breath can get a little shallow. So use your coordination to get in a nice big breath. And now switch other direction for those ankle circles. And one more. And rest. Very good. All right, take your time flipping over onto that hands and knees position. Again, grabbing that extra cushion for the knees as needed. Hands are directly under shoulders. Make sure they're not out in front of you. We like joints stacked as often as we can. And then when you're ready, straighten out one arm and begin sweeping it controlled to your side as far back as is able. And back to the top. Sometimes people can have a tendency to do something funky with their wrists in this position, so make sure your wrist isn't holding a bunch of tension, but it's nice and flat. Everything just in a nice straight line. Arm goes even with the body. And back to the front. Last one for this side, smooth, slow, controlled. That's the name of the game. And rest. Very good. Then prepare for that other side. Take a big breath in and exhale. And when you're ready, straighten out that arm and begin our little sweeping motions on this side. Rather a big sweeping motion. Trying to keep that arm even with your ear, even with your side, even with your hip at all points throughout this movement. Make sure you're not collapsing into the shoulder of the hand that's on the ground. Push away from the floor. Gets a little extra nice core engagement. Last one. Sweeping motion back to the top. And rest. Very good. Alrighty, and then back to our third exercise of this second circuit. Finding your way back onto your back. Nice relaxed position, knees are bent. And then just move your heels another inch or two away from your hips. And then move them a little bit wider, about a yoga mat width or shoulder width apart. And when you're ready, start dropping the knees towards the side, letting the top hip leave the mat a little bit if it's comfortable to do so. Going back through center, just as far as is comfortable, and back up. It's almost a mini twist. We're not engaging the core. We're not trying to keep the back on the mat. We're letting it lift, but keeping it nice and smooth, stopping whenever your legs just naturally meet that resistance point of the drop. We'll do one more for each side, lowering down, lifting up, passing through the center, over to the other side, and rest. Very good. Alrighty, we're gonna head into our third circuit, which will be standing. So make your way back up to your standing position. We'll give you a moment to get there. And we're gonna start with some nice wrist mobility. And so whenever you're ready, we're gonna start with your hands in fists and make a fist as you curl your wrist inward, and then extend your fingertips as you spread and then tuck back in and make a fist. Extending the fingers, hands go flat, make a fist, tuck it in. Fingers spread, hands extend, fingers make a fist. Again, tempting to go fast with this one, but keeping it nice and slow. Might feel a little bit of stretch as you make the fist. Spread those fingers. And last one, tuck in and spread wide. Perfect. All right, second one, we're gonna do some lateral lunging. We're gonna keep these stationary. So find a comfortable wide stance with your toes turned just slightly outward. And then we're going to shift to one side as we sink down into that hip and come back up. And then we're gonna alternate going to the other side. Leg stays straight and come back up. I'm tipping the torso over a little bit, trying to keep my chest over that leg where I'm bending. Chest goes a little bit down, helping to push the hips back. Keeping the other leg straight, shifting into one side. And again, if you're not lowering as far down as I am, that's totally okay. Just go as low as is comfortable for your body. If we have a lot of tightness in that adductor or inner thigh, which is very common, that's okay. Just don't lower down quite as far. We'll do one more for each side, shifting over, back up. Last one, shifting over and back up. Very good. All right, and then our last one is going to be for the calves and ankles, also a little bit of the toes. So this is one that you might want a little balance support, so grab the back of a chair or a wall. And then we're going to do some toe and heel rocks. So first, lift up off of your heels onto your toe as high as you can. And then do the opposite, lifting up the toe, rocking back on the heel. Lifting up as high as you can. And then lifting the toes up as high as you can. If this is one that felt more comfortable in shoes, that's totally okay, depending on how your toe mobility is in that lifted heel raise position. But also you don't have to go up as far if any of your toes give you a little bit of feedback. Lifting up, Last one of each. And rocking back on the heels. Lift the toes and rest. Very good. Alrighty, we've got one more time through all of these. So going back to that wrist mobility, again, start by making fists and then tuck the wrists inward and then spread the fingers and extend the wrist. Tucking in and reach those fingers wide. Good, taking your time in each position. Noticing those little differences side to side. Spread and extend. Good, pulling all the way in till you feel a little stretch. And last one for each, make that fist. And spread, extend at the wrist. Very good. All right, then we're back to those lateral lunges. So we'll find that nice wide stance, toes pointing slightly outward. And then when you're ready, we're going to keep one leg straight as we shift over to one side. Thinking about our chest staying over that moving leg. Also helps a little bit with balance. Come back up. Make sure to stand up all the way at the top. Gives your quads a little bit of a break that way as well. Shifting over and back up. Chest over that leg. Push back strong into the other side. And back up. One more for each leg, sinking over, other leg stays straight. And last one, sinking down and back up. Very good. All right, and then our last one, closing out for the day with those heel and toe rocks. Again, finding that balance support. And then when you're ready, lift the heels up, little calf raise, and then rock back onto the heels, lift the toes. It's also good for our balance and proprioception. When we lift the toes, feeling what it's like to feel the weight on the heels. It's nice to be able to know where your center of mass is within your foot and have that awareness of what it feels like so that if ever you lose your balance, you have a little bit more awareness and might be able to catch yourself. Lift the toes. We've got two more. Up as high as is comfortable. Rocking back, toes lift. Last one, lifting up. And last toe lift. And rest. All right, very good. Thanks for joining me on today's mobility workout. I hope that you feel ready for whatever the rest of your day entails. If you want more information from me or ways to support these mobility videos, go over to Hello Strength Seniors on Instagram. There's a link in the description of this video, and we'll see you next Tuesday for more morning mobility.